And on that piece of paper, I want you to write positives and I want you to write negatives. A positive on one side, negative on the other. Split your paper. You are going to write, because you're going to have ideas. Your brain is a powerful tool. So as you are looking at this and trying to make it a reality in your life, your brain is going to tell you stuff that you can do to make it happen. Write that down and keep it. Your subconscious is going to tell you you can't do this because when you're smart, people don't like you. Because when you fall down, you're a klutz. You're never going to be able to do this thing because it's too hard. So then you write down those negative things, and this is my favorite part. You rip it down the middle and you check the negative. Just get rid of it. You don't want it in you. It is not doing you any good. Say goodbye. And then you do this every morning and you do this every night. You write down the negative, you throw it in the garbage, you write down the positive, and you act. The most important thing about this is you need to act. You only have a limited amount of time. You have about 5 seconds before you will talk yourself out of something. You have an idea, act on it in that moment, because within 5 seconds you'll go, it's not worth the effort. So write it down and set a goal for yourself to do it. Any questions? Because that was a whole lot of information right there. Yes?
Does it have to be a picture frame or vision board?
No, I like it. I think it's cutesy. You also can use green tape. You can use a
Green tape.
on the wall. Okay. No, actually, that's a good point. So let's say that this is my wall. Also, please use green tape, because green or blue tape or painter's tape in general, it doesn't tear your drywall off or your paint. So you can find a spot on your wall, preferably in your bedroom. You can also put it in your bathroom. Put it somewhere where you will see it often. Don't hide it in your closet. If you stick it in your closet, your brain will go, that thing's hard, and you'll never look at it again. Don't stick it under your bed, because your brain will go, that thing's hard, we're never going to look at it again. Stick it somewhere that you see it every day. I was teaching my sister this. She put it on her fridge, so that when she's in cooking or in doing things, it's always in front of her. So she's always seeing it and she's always checking in with it. You can put it on a cork board. You can kind of do any way you want. Just make sure it has a border. It's somewhere that you see it often, and that you actually look at it and check in with it. Follow-up question. Any other questions? Yes?
So you think you should probably like pick 2 goals at first that are just kind of like smaller, so you can feel like some sense of accomplishment when you do that? And then like I always think of a vision board of like, oh, I want to cut out pictures of a magazine of things that look good, but it seems like you're more like strategic and like saying, you know, kind of make a movie, use words, and kind of like, you know, make pictures so that it's more real. So yeah, is that kind of what you mean?
So it's however your brain best works. For me, I generally just find a picture and then I type up or write down. Generally, I just write down what I want and I put it on. But if it's easier for your brain to engage with it, find things that are pretty. Find things that make you excited. Because an important part of a vision board is that you feel something when you look at it, and preferably that you feel something good. There will be negative stuff that comes up too. That's why you write those down and you get rid of them. You mentioned strategic about it. So the very first things that I ever put on my vision board are, I'm trying to think, what was the very first thing that I put on my vision board? Was it like $50 to go do an activity? Like it was really straightforward. It was really easy, but I put it up there and I focused on it so that my brain could see that I could focus on something and that something could happen. And so then once I saw that happened, then I was able to put getting a couch. Yes?
Evidence. Your brain needs evidence. So start something small that you get within like a month, and then you can build from that.
Yeah, and that thing will give you a sense of accomplishment, so you could do a little bit bigger thing next time.
It'll
So
give
you
your brain
might
momentum.
could switch it up a couple of times, like, you know, say if you did the tape thing, then I don't know if you'd write on the walls or what.
Go ahead. You could also use a whiteboard.
Because I have like magazines and stuff, I can cut out pictures and then, like, I was gonna get a poster board, but I was thinking it was bigger, like probably just lots of life stuff, but maybe that's a little too overwhelming. I might consider just making like a couple of smaller things now instead of just a ton of.
Well, and another suggestion that I really love and that I found really useful, have a 30-day goal, a 60-day goal, and a 90-day goal.
Oh yeah, I like that.
And so your 30-day goal is something more that's easier to accomplish, and like Christopher said, that gives your brain evidence. Hey, look, we did this thing. So that when you get discouraged, you can go, but we did this thing. Another pro tip for this, have a binder, have a folder. So that when you take that off your vision board, you have a special place to keep it, so that when you're feeling discouraged, you can go back and say, hey, look, we did this. We have proof, we have evidence we did this. And then another added tip is make your 90-day goal smaller. So your 90-day goal is up on your board, but then under it, do a smaller chunk of that. So for me, if I wanted to read The Count of Monte Cristo in 3 months, my smaller goal would be every week I need to read 50 pages. And so at the end of that week, every day that I read 10 pages, then every day I can tear a strip off saying, hey, look, I've accomplished something towards this goal. Also put start dates on, so whenever you put something up, put a start date on your vision board for that goal. Don't put end dates, because our brain goes, oh, that's not till June, I don't have to think about it till May. And so instead of going, I have 3-4 months to do this goal, say today I have this thing, and see how fast you can bring it into your life. Instead of putting it off and putting it out there saying, I'm never going to get there, I don't have to get there, say, nope, today. Today I'm going to do this thing, today I'm going to accomplish this thing.
Oh yeah, and so what if you just start having a hard time like knowing like which thing to focus on? Like now I'm thinking, oh, well maybe I will try to look at the smaller things to start out versus some of the bigger things. But yeah, like for me, like I kind of think, oh, like, you know, I want a nice house and I would want a nicer job and, you know, but what kind of gets in the way is I'll be like, oh, I want to finish this stuff. There's these other things I got to kind of finish up first. But maybe those could just be kind of goals. Like you're saying, like a 30-day one, a 60 and a 90 days or something like that.
Well, and also, I mean, you can have up to 9 things.
Okay.
I say don't do 9 things first, because then your brain's like, ah!
That's too much.
And it stops. But I mean, you could have 4 or 5 things and have 2 big ones, and then have 3 smaller ones that feed in to those bigger ones. And as you are going, what should I put on here? What things? Put out a couple different options. Put them on your bed, look at all of them, and this is you might laugh at this, but say, which one of these things brings me the most joy and the most excitement in this moment? Because the more excitement and the more joy that you bring going into it, the faster momentum you'll get. Because the last part that I want to cover really fast is, it's called an after story. Now what I was talking about is that you write a movie for yourself. That's kind of what an after story is. The key points to an after story, well, the reason you need an after story is what Walt Disney said, actually. So we'll go back to Walt Disney. Nope, I was there and I jumped over it. One more. So first you think, second you dream, third you believe, and finally you dare. Often you go towards these things, you try these things, and stuff comes up. Things happen. Things don't go the way that you wanted them to. And so you feel like you're hitting failure after failure after failure, and so eventually you stop. The dopamine that I was talking about earlier. We're not getting any rewards for what we're doing, so we stop. So what an after story is, it makes something that you want so real, it doesn't matter what comes up, you still want the thing. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take you, what you want is so valuable to you that you go after it. So the after story should be how this helps you, how this helps a significant person in your life, and how this is going to help 5 other people that you randomly run into. Or you can also call it your tribe. Either way. So in building this after story, you help give your brain the reason to not be selfish. Because sometimes we tell ourselves, no, I'm just being selfish. So you say, well, yes, this does help me, but this helps someone that I care about. And then you start telling yourself how this is going to help other people. So how does me having a 4-bedroom house help myself? Well, I get a very nice house to live in. That's true. How does this help a significant other person in my life? Well, this means that we no longer live in an apartment that frowns on animals, so we can have cats. And this person that I really loves cats. So I get to see the happiness on his face when we get to go home and we get to play with our cats every night. How does this help our tribe? Well, it helps the 11 other people that are sitting at my dinner table that I invite over to mentor with. It helps the people in my ward because I can now host ward stuff at my house. And so you start filling in your mind, how does this help other people? And then your brain wants to have it happen even faster because then you are bringing good things into your life and extending those things into the good of other people's lives as well.